Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I have had these Daniel Smith color dot charts for like 3 or 4 years, and I have been meaning to do a video. Well, I've been wanting to do them, I mean, for one thing, and I've thought about videoing the process so that you guys can see as well, for any of you who haven't gotten these. It took me a while to actually do them, but yeah. So anyway, this video is going to be showing you this one right here. I'm doing the yellows, the reds, and the purples. Our next video will hopefully be the blues, which I'm really excited for. So yeah, I'll walk you through this. I've got two different sheets. I've got this, so I'll be swatching that. And then I also have my own little sheets that I made that I'll be going from kind of like a higher pigment to washed out, kind of transparent. So I'll be doing that as well. So I'm hoping to, yeah, it'll be juggling between both of those with 60 different colors today. Hope that you can learn something in the process. I won't be talking the whole time. And I've sped up some of the parts just to kind of save you guys time, because it does take a little while. So that's why I'm breaking it up into a few different videos. I'm doing one video per sheet. So there's 4 of them. I'll definitely do the first 2. I'm not sure if I'll do a video for every single one, but once I've started, I may as well probably see it through. So anyway, let me know if you enjoy this one, because it'd be helpful to know that you're excited for the next ones. And other than that, I hope that it's helpful for you. All right, you guys. I am super excited to try this out. So I've had these sheets for a long time, haven't gotten around to doing this yet. So my plan is I've got these little sheets for each set of colors. I went for 12, so you'll see they go up to mine, yellow, and then the next one. So my plan is I'm hoping I can get enough paint off of this. If it doesn't work, then I'll just continue on with the sheet and we'll lose this. But hoping to get enough that I can do kind of a swatch here and still have something there. I'm trying to do this with my 1/2" black velvet flat brush. It's like a little too big, I think, for this, but we'll give it a go. So, I think this will work fine. So I'm trying to pick up a bunch of paint, a little more water. All right, so our first color here is Buff Titanium, which I have had on my palettes before. I think I've taken it off of my current palette that I have. I really like it for beach scenes and things like that. It's quite different from many of these other ones. It's quite opaque, kind of a creamy, milky color, and so yeah, it's interesting. My plan is at this point, by the way, you guys, is every other color. I'm gonna be doing every other color, just so that the colors don't bleed into each other, and then I'll come back and do the other ones. So this is Bismuth Vandit Yellow. And I will also point out to you guys, I've put a star beside all of the single pigment colors. I figured I didn't bother writing each of the pigments out, but I figured it was helpful to know which ones are single pigment, so you can avoid muddy colors and things like that. That's what I find helpful, and so I did make a note of that. So you'll find actually most of these are single pigment. The cadmium yellows, I found that anything with cadmium tended to be a mix, and because I think Daniel Smith they don't actually make cadmium colors, so that's why they're called hue. Cadmium yellow light hue it's kind of an imitation cadmium color, which is achieved, I guess, through a mix. So yeah, Azo yellow. I just did that earlier there. That one is one that I've used before. I liked it. I think I went to go get a Hansa Yellow medium, and they didn't have it, and so I got Azo Yellow. I really liked that. Cadmium Yellow medium hue, and Lemon Yellow. Lemon Yellow I used on my first dollar store palette, and I haven't used it since. So not Daniel Smith. I found it on the dollar store palette. It was kind of a sickly yellow. I wasn't a big fan. Versus something like this Hansa Yellow Medium is a little more rich, and I definitely enjoy that more. For me, Hansa Yellow Medium and Azo Yellow, both really nice yellows. So I'm going back and starting again at the beginning. This is Nickel Titanate Yellow. Haven't used this before, haven't put it on any of my palettes. Neither have I used Hansa Yellow Light, which is also here. Yeah. In general, I like the Hansa Yellow Medium, and I love Hansa Yellow Deep, so we'll be coming up on that one later. Cadmium Light Hue, same thing.
I'm planning to avoid all of these cadmium ones just because they are a mix of colors, and I don't know. That just carries a level of unpredictability as far as how they're going to react with other colors along the way. I'm very excited to see this Orlin color because the dot looks quite different, but actually seeing it put out on paper, it's not all that different. I thought it would be like a little more kind of a goldy, bronzy color, but it's not. It's not too different. Yeah, and then we've got this cadmium yellow deep hue, which is quite a nice yellow, I have to say. Yeah, quite a fan of that. And then the last one here is Mayan yellow, which I should say, my dream has been to make a Mayan palette. I have no idea how it would look, and I'm hoping by the end of this, doing all these sheets, I'll have a bit of an idea of what these various colors. There's a Mayan yellow, there's a Mayan red, there's a Mayan blue, and so I think it would be so fun to put together a palette of each of the Mayan colors. I think there's 5 of them, 5 or 6. And I just think it would be cool. I have no idea how they would interact, and so I don't know if it's a good idea at all. But we'll see. I mean, you may as well try. So onto the new sheet. This is Naples yellow, kind of more earthy, quite a beautiful yellow. It is a mix. It's not a single pigment color. And then we've got Hansa yellow deep, which I love, 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 love. It's I think I've said earlier in my palette video, it's a little, it's almost an orange, and so it's not quite as versatile for doing various different things, but I love the color. It's so nice. It's one of those ones that has to go in my palette. I don't even know how to say this. Isondaline yellow. Quite a rich yellow as well. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It is a single pigment hue. This Aussie red gold, I am a big fan. I think it was Liz Steele who she does a lot of travel painting. It is a mix. And I forget, I can't remember, maybe it was Australia. She was traveling somewhere where the earth around there was kind of this color, and so she started putting Aussie red gold into her palette, and it's so beautiful. I like just seeing it. I know it's a mix, but it would be one of those ones that I would definitely be willing to put into my palette. So I saw, her using it, and she said the same thing about it. It's a beautiful color, so nice. Permanent orange, single pigment color, not much to say about that. And then Perronone orange as well, also single pigment color. I'll just go through the list here, you guys, quickly. So it's Indian yellow, we've got New Gamboge, permanent yellow deep, pyrrole orange, cadmium orange hue, again a mix, and cadmium red scarlet hue. So all the cadmiums, as per usual, they're kind of they're mixes. And pyrrole orange, I'm trying to remember whether I have ever had that in a palette. Definitely used the pyrrole scarlets. I'm not sure that I have ever used the pyrrole orange. Indian yellow, though, super fun. I read a book. I forget what it was called. It was about these various different colors, and it just had awesome stories about like the ones that stand out. Ultramarine blue, I love that. I'm looking forward to the blue sheet. What was the other one? Indigo, talks about the history of indigo, how that came about. Indian yellow, it talked about, which is from cow urine, basically. And Prussian blue, how kind of that was invented by accident. Super cool. I have at different times wondered whether people would enjoy hearing some of these stories. If I was to, I'd have to do some research, go back and look at various sources and pull all of that together to kind of prep up a video like that. But if you would be interested in hearing stories about, I don't know whether I definitely wouldn't do just every color in general, but I would definitely start with the ones that A, have the most interesting stories, and B, are a part of my palette, because the ones that I was most interested in, I think I used all of them. I'm like off the top of my head, 4 or 5 of them, I used them all. And it's so cool to see the stories of of how these colors used to be, and also to think about the way that these colors used to come about. That people would, like in the case of ultramarine blue, people would literally, take this lapis lazuli rock from Afghanistan, transport it to Europe, and then, if you were an artist in Europe, you'd be smashing up this lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, putting it with some sort of a binder. I don't know enough about paints and how it all works. But then putting that on your palette. So you would literally, the process was so concrete and so tangible to bring these rocks and minerals over from other places and put them there. So anyway, if you're listening and you're still listening and that kind of thing interests you, leave a comment down below. It'd be really helpful to know if people are interested in that. If not, it's totally fine. It would be a lot of work to research and everything, and I don't know whether it's better suited for a blog post or just point to some of the other people who have written that kind of stuff. It's super interesting. If color interests you, you got to go check out some of those books. Send me a message. I can send you the title. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, onto this sheet. We've got transparent pyro orange. We've got Mayan orange. So I'm slowly chugging away on these Mayan colors. Generally, I would say from what I've seen, they're quite pale, and I don't know how well they would go together. What would be interesting would be to do some color mixing with them, but probably not happening this time around. We'll see. Might be able to manage it. Our next one here is cadmium red medium hue, another cadmium mix, and then we've got pyroline red. I would say in general, don't use reds enough. There's so many reds, and I just find myself looking at this huge list and thinking like, A, when would I ever use all of these reds, and B, like, I don't know. How would you decide? Why are there so many? Yellows. I find I use a lot of yellows, or at least I'm more interested in the differences between the yellows. I'm more interested in the difference between the blues, greens, I suppose, especially the teals and things. But the reds, I should use them more. They should make it more into my paintings. This last one here is permanent red deep, which I don't know much about it. Orange vermilion. Again, most of these are all single pigment colors. Got quinacridone coral. I don't know what quinacridone means. I remember looking it up one time. I believe it has something to do with kind of the chemical process through which it's made. Like, I think off the top of my head, this probably could be wrong, but has to do with its synthetic nature. Pyroline scarlet, and then we've got pyro red after that. I'm trying to remember whether I've used pyro red. I've definitely used pyro scarlet, which is right above that. I don't know about pyro red. My issue sometimes too is I'll go into a store to buy a certain thing, and then depending on the store, like I have one that I went to in Calgary, and we happened to be in the States one time. There's ones in Edmonton, and sometimes they won't have that pigment, so then I'm trying to find the closest kind of replacement pigment I can. Again, single pigment, and so I end up with colors that I wasn't planning on. I did research about certain ones and ended up with a different one. So that will happen. So then in my head, I don't remember, at this point I don't remember, I know what I wanted, did I get that one, or am I the one that I'm thinking of, is that the one that I landed on? I'm not sure. Permanent red here, and then we've got quinacridone red to finish out this sheet. I do have to say, swatching the reds is so fun. They're so red, so vibrant. Our next one here is hard to say. I have no idea how to say that. Anthraquinoid red. There you go. I've put it together. Don't know what that means. Alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is one of the ones that came up in my dollar store palette. And when I first started painting, I've heard people talk about using it. I believe it is not light fast from what I can remember, which is, you'll see right below it, which we're skipping at this point. Permanent alizarin crimson is the light fast version. Yeah, both of them are kind of a cooler red. Rhodonite Genuine, you will notice I put 2 stars here. And the reason for that is it is a Primatech color, which I believe, yes, it's got the little P on it on the swatch. And so Primatech colors basically are, as I was talking about earlier with the, some of the original pigments and colors, they're made from literal rocks, the minerals and rocks. So if I remember, this is it says a jewelry grade gemstone basically that is made into this Rhodonite Genuine. So pretty cool. I have strayed away from those Primatech colors because they're quite expensive. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much of a price jump there is between the normal ones and those Primatech ones, but I have kept away from them because of that. The concept is so cool. It's really fun to be thinking this is literally made from gems and rocks, and I'm putting it here on this paper. So that's cool. I really like that, and maybe I would eventually use more of them. The appeal is there, but budget, I've avoided it. And they're quite different. They're not, I would say they're not common mixing colors. So anyway, that's cool. So I put 2 stars there for that. After that, we've got Rose Madder Permanent, and then we have Potter's Pink, which is quite an interesting pink. Haven't used that. Kind of think I might. I don't know. It was different, but it stands out from some of the others. Quinacridone Rose, definitely use that a lot. Nice mixing color. Mayan Red. I already talked about Permanent Alizarin Crimson. Carmine, I have used that. I can't remember. I think that was one that I settled on. I was looking for a different one and then ended up with the Carmine as kind of my cooler red option, which I like it. It's nice. Opera Pink, never used it before. It's super pink. I have no idea how that would be in mixing. Quinacridone Pink, yeah, I don't know much to say about that. And then Quinacridone Lilac, we're kind of moving into the purples at this point, pinks and purples. Yeah, I don't think I have. Besides Quinacridone Rose, that's the only kind of leaning pink color that I have, and I use that for mixing a lot of my purples and things. Quinacridone Magenta. Don't know what to say about that. Pyrrole Crimson. Sorry, I guess we're skipping down to Quinacridone Fuchsia. Also don't know much about that. We've got another Mayan color, which I guess we're skipping over. And Bordeaux. Almost all of these are single pigment colors. Bordeaux I found really interesting because I was curious what connection it had to the actual city of Bordeaux. Because I know, again, coming back to this book that I read on color, sienna comes from Siena, Italy. And then burnt sienna is just burnt, if I remember, burnt version of that rock. They literally just take rocks from this earth. It's kind of that earthy color from the place Siena, and that's that pigment color name. So Bordeaux, I was curious, how single pigment color. I don't know what relation that has to Bordeaux, France. What is cool, which I didn't realize until I was doing this sheet, is that there are single pigment purples. And I guess I always I don't know why I feel really dumb, like I should have known this before, but I guess I just thought that all purples were mixes, which is partly why I've avoided them. I mix up my own purples, usually with Quinacridone Rose and Ultramarine. And so, yeah, the idea that, wait a minute, I could have a purple, this is single pigment. And then what is that? The only thing that the place where I'm not sure how I feel about it is, and I guess you would mix it the same way, you take an ultramarine red, let's say, and you mix it with ultramarine if you want it a little bluer. But when I mix my own purples, I have some choice as to which direction that purple goes. Is it more pinky? Is it more bluey? Darker, whatever? And so I guess in my head, I'm like, would I lose that if I was using a single pigment purple? But I don't think so. I think I would just learn what I want to mix it with if I want to change it. But yeah, I haven't gotten a single purple. So, but this video definitely made me think, maybe I should invest in at least one. I am not sure which one I would. Not sure if I actually will, but there would be a few, maybe cobalt, ultramarine, one of those two. Yeah, quinacridone fuchsia. This is, I can't even read that. Quinacridone violet. Yep. Pyroline violet. Very, very deep color. Very interesting. Almost kind of like a dried blood, burnty color. Cobalt violet deep. And then our last color on this sheet is rose of ultramarine. Just nice color. Yeah, and that's it for this sheet. So I definitely enjoyed the experience more than I thought I would. I thought it would be a little more routine. I do have to say I was kind of glad that I waited to do this till after I kind of had the hang of colors a little more, because this would have been a little overwhelming to do at the start, but I'm definitely glad I did it now.
Hope you enjoyed that, you guys. The next video, I'm hopefully going to be doing the blues. Not sure when exactly I'll be doing that. It did take quite a while, a lot longer than I thought, which is why I'm breaking them up into different videos. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed that. If you did, it would be helpful to leave a comment or something so that I know, people are interested in the next one. I'll be making it either way. Yeah, hope that was helpful, and see you in the next video. Take care.